up, guys? Welcome into the
All right,
Sports
dude, I'm ready.
Chef Dunk Sports Podcast. I got my boy Owen here with me today. We're gonna be talking about some NBA and some NFL tonight. We're gonna be making it happen. Owen, I believe we've been probably friends now for what, 3, 4 years?
Yeah, something like around that.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy you came on the show today, and I'm happy we're gonna talk some sports. First topic we're gonna talk about is 2021 finals. Who do you think is going to be in it and why?
Ooh, uh, honestly, I mean, it depends, man. It depends on what the Bucks do this offseason. If obviously they keep Giannis, they resign him, all that. That's the big thing about it. And I mean, it depends if they trade and stuff too, because I saw a few things today. They're talking about trading for Bogdanovich or getting Bogdanovich. Depends if they keep Bledsoe. But I mean, right now, I'd probably go with Bucks versus Lakers, but then again, I could very easily see the Warriors or the Clippers being in it next year too. So, but I think it's Bucks versus Lakers next year.
I uh I agree. If the Bucks make a move, I think definitely the Lakers are going to be back, and I think the big thing is here's why. Okay, Golden State, I think they need to add another piece like the Bucks to be able to beat the Lakers because I think LeBron is playing at such an unbelievable level, and so is AD. And I think this finals and playoff run did a lot for AD's confidence. So I definitely see the Lakers coming out the West. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this. I think it's gonna be the Heat next year again if the Bucks don't make a move. And here's why. I think the Heat
Mm,
have so much young talent that they're only going to continue to develop their young talent, like Tyler Hero Robinson, you know, Kendrick Nunn, obviously, and then still have Jimmy Butler, Bam. Uh, they got to re-sign Goran Dragic, but if they do that, I can see Miami right back in it. But if I agree with you though. If the Bucks make a move, they're my pick to make it.
see, the reason I don't see the Heat going back next year because I think honestly I think they got lucky with the whole bubble with everything because like I mean I've been saying before, dude, the um if the virus never happened, if anything, the Bucks would have steamrolled into the finals, like with everything going on. And I mean, too, you have to look at. I want to say the Heat. I want to say they had a below 500 record on the road, actually. And I mean, obviously, when you play away, like in the playoffs and everything, that's different too. So I mean, yeah, they're talented, but I don't know if they'll re-sign either, and I don't know how he'll be if he is like because this injury could hurt him a little bit. He's going to need surgery and everything now, I think. So I mean, we'll see about all that. But then again, too, I think it's between the Bucks or the Nets too, because obviously the Nets get Katie and Kyrie next year for the whole year. So I think if it's not the Bucks, I think it'll be the Nets.
Yeah, I really think this is going to be one of I think these next few years are going to be some of the best in the NBA. Because you think about it, I could see about 5 teams from each conference making or winning the title. In the West, I would say the Lakers, Clippers,
Sure.
um, Golden State, Denver. I mean, you could throw Houston in there if they keep Russ and Harden together. I could see them
I like
getting
the
there.
Mavs, dude.
And the
The
Mavs,
Mavs,
yeah,
they're gonna
I
add
mean the
someone.
Mavs, yeah,
They'll add someone this offseason. I think they're gonna trade for. I think they'll trade for Al Horford. They'll take that contract off the Sixers. So they'll have him. They'll have Horford, Doncic, and Kristaps, and then they'll still have guys like probably still keep Tim Hardaway. Probably won't have to give him up, and they might have to. But I think they'll be good next year. I think they'll be a top 5 seed.
yeah. I mean,
They'll be good.
I think really I think in the East, you got Miami, you got Milwaukee, you got Boston, you got Toronto, and you got Brooklyn. I don't see the thing for me is it's so hard to predict the East because hardly any of the moves have happened yet. Like, because we know the Bucks are going to try, we know the Heat are probably going to try and make a move. You know, it's
Probably.
there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try and make moves, and it'll be interesting to see. I just think right now, I think Bucks or Heat. I think the Nets are about a year away because I think
Yeah,
KD. I don't think you can ask KD to come back off of that injury and be the same guy first year back. I think it's going to take him some time, and I think it's gonna. I think, like I said, Owen, if the Bucks make a move, they're a slam dunk out of the East this next year. I would agree.
yeah, but you got to remember too that with the whole virus, the KD he had like 4 or 5 extra months to prepare to rehab. So I mean, you got to remember that the season's getting pushed back a few months. So we'll see. And I mean, there's 82 games. See, I don't know if they'll make it less games next year, but yeah, I think the Nets. Personally, I think it'll be the Bucks. Obviously, I mean, maybe a little biased, but I think the Nets will come out if they don't. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it'll be tough. It's hard because the free agency hasn't happened. So after that, after the draft, after everything, we'll see. But I also could see the Clippers there next year too in the West, like I was saying. I mean, the Warriors are gonna be tough again, though. I mean, they got the best backcourt ever. So
And I
we'll
mean,
see.
one of the things that's underrated too is you for they what seems to go under the radar is they added Wiggins, which Wiggins as a fourth option is not bad. Like that was my argument with the Lakers this year. Is everyone was like Clippers, 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 and I'm like the Lakers got LeBron, AD, they got Rondo because playoff Rondo. It's a real thing. I don't know what it is about Rondo in the playoffs, but he's so good. Like, and then you talk
Yeah,
about
he's
the
good.
compilation of guys. They had KCP, Dwight, Danny Green. Here's the thing, man. If Danny Green hits that shot in Game 5, wow. Like,
Yeah,
but going
yeah.
back,
I mean, they have good role players.
yeah, yeah. I think for me, Owen, I could see the Clippers. I just think I wouldn't bet against LeBron or Golden State out of the West. For me, I don't want to bet against my guy
Well, I
LeBron.
mean, like I said, I think that I didn't think if the Lakers would have played the Clippers this year, I don't think the Lakers would have won in the series. I still don't think so. I just think that the Clippers have too much they can throw at them. That's personally what I think, because the reason why Denver was able to beat the Lakers or beat the Clippers is because they had guard play, and the Clippers or yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like or like yeah, because of like a lot of the guard play too, whereas like the Lakers, that's what they lacked in. The Lakers don't have great guard play. You know what I mean? I mean, Rondo's obviously he was good and everything, but I'm saying like that's why Denver like Murray played out of his mind. Grant also played really well too, and I mean Jokic is obviously doing good. But Monte Morris stepped up too off the bench and everything, so they've had good guard play. I mean that was a big thing too. And the thing is, like I said with the Lakers, is they didn't have guard play. Clippers can match up better. They could throw Kawhi, they could throw Paul George. They can try. I mean, they can try to throw him at LeBron. They're not going to stop him. But I mean, Kawhi, he can give him a little bit of trouble. But I mean, Anthony Davis, though, obviously he would still have a mismatch. But I just thought the Clippers were too deep for the Lakers.
Yeah, it's really hard to say what would have happened. I mean, I'll tell you this, man. You know that no one really talks about it, but that first round series with Denver and Utah was so amazing to watch. Like just to
That was
watch
good
Mitchell and Murray just go back and forth the games 4, 5, and 6, and even in game 7, it was amazing to watch. It was some of the best play I've seen in the playoffs in a long time.
for sure. I agree. Yeah, that was crazy. Just like the score. I mean, and I don't know if a lot of it was because of the bubble, because obviously a lot of players they came out and said it was easier to shoot because of Jefferson. Everything's the same, so there wasn't fans in the back, so it was a lot easier for players to shoot. I don't know if that was it too, but yeah, there's a lot of scoring that round. I thought honestly when those two teams played, I didn't think they're both either that good. I thought if they would have matched up against different teams, they would have lost. But I mean, Denver made it to the Western Conference Finals, so I guess they proved myself and a lot of other people wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, bro, I'll even say, man, like, I told you before that series, I'm like, don't sleep on Denver. And you guys were all laughing at me. I said, don't sleep on Denver. And, you know, yes, it was different because it was the bubble. I completely agree with you. But, Murray and Jokic, just the way that they showed out just was so impressive to me. Like, I even thought they were going to give the Lakers a hard time. Like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, we struggle to defend guards. And Murray's on the hottest streak of his career. Like, you know,
I mean, yeah, you got to remember they still did give the Lakers a fight though. What they take them to? Took them to six, or was it five or six?
it was five, but
What is it? What are they?
I think game
It was
two it
five,
was
but that one
AD had to
game,
hit the game winner to win that
AD hit
game.
the
So
game winner.
yeah.
Yeah, they took them. I mean, they did give them a fight too. So, I mean, like I said, they're a team where I just think they'll always be good, but I don't think they'll ever be able to get over the hump because there's just always going to be better teams than them. I don't know. That's just personally what I believe. I think they're good, but I don't think they'll be in a championship anytime soon, in my opinion.
All right, so let's shift to this now. You know this was coming. What did this finals win do for LeBron James' legacy? Did it move him closer to Jordan? Did it move him past Jordan? Where does he sit for you? Is he second, third, first? Where do you have LeBron?
All right, Dunk. You know I'm a Jordan guy.
I
I
do.
think Jordan's the greatest basketball player ever.
I do.
When you put together the talent with the accolades, everything.
Yeah,
But LeBron, obviously, what he did this year, second in the MVP race, winning Finals MVP, winning the Finals. I don't. To me, the only thing I think, and obviously the whole thing is Jordan's number one, LeBron's number two. I think you're insane if you put anybody else in the top two. I think you could switch those two off if you really want. Like you can argue about that, but I don't think you can put anyone else there. Maybe Kareem. Like Kareem's three in my opinion, but that's the only other guy that even comes close. What I'm saying is, I just think that LeBron, if he wants to catch Jordan, I think he's gonna have to have the same amount of finals, if not more, or the same amount of MVPs, if not more. And I don't think the MVP is realistic because I think this last year was the last year he could have won MVP because, like I said, he's just going to get old. Keep getting older. AD is going to keep producing, so it's just hard. And then finals, obviously, he could win a few more. But I just think that I don't know. And I think it put him closer because obviously, if you add that to your resume, it's going to boost you. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I still think Jordan is still in front of him. Not by a lot, not but I still think he's in front of him. And I don't and like I said, it's gonna take a lot for LeBron to catch him. And I don't know, year 18 this upcoming year, I don't know if it's gonna be able to happen because like I said, I think he needs to get another MVP. I don't think finals cuts it because yes, he's dominating, but you have to remember he is alongside with AD. And I'm saying like you have to. I think you have to look at it all. Obviously, we could go over the whole argument why I think that, but I just think if you stack up the two next to each other and you don't just take career stats versus like longevity, where you go total points, total assists. Obviously, LeBron's gonna have more. He played more years, played more games. But series are longer now than they were back then. I'm saying if you go off like career, like you go off like MVPs, defense player of the years, defense first teams, this, and you go off of like the same amount of years as LeBron and Jordan, like this and that. I think Jordan's looks better, but like I said, it's not out of the picture where I think he could take it over
yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It's a two-man race for the GOAT, greatest of all
for
time
sure.
basketball player. I'm probably one of the biggest LeBron fans out there. I do think he's the GOAT,
Oh
and
yeah,
I think he's the GOAT because of some of the reasons you brought up with the stats and longevity. I just, here part of the problem too, Owen, is I never saw Jordan play. Yes, I've watched number of Jordan playoff games. I watched The Last Dance, the whole thing. Don't get me wrong. I think you can make an argument for either one as the GOAT. I think LeBron is the GOAT because of the way he impacts the game of basketball. I think when you talk about LeBron, you talk about probably the greatest all-around player ever. The way he rebounds, the way he passes, the way he can score. I mean, we fail to talk about it, but in 2016, the man had 41, 41, and then a triple double in 5, 6, and 7, arguably his greatest accomplishment ever. And then in the next series, where the Warriors get Kevin Durant and become unstoppable, he's the first guy to average a triple double. So I think
for
you
sure.
can definitely make an argument for LeBron, and I think you can definitely make an argument for Jordan. I just think that LeBron's a GOAT now. For a lot of the Jordan fans, I think what LeBron needs is he needs either a title next year to get to 5 of 5 Finals MVPs, or he needs to get 6 rings. That's what I think he needs, because I think next year, if he got it, you would look around the NBA. You would talk about the Golden State Warriors, the Nets, the Bucks if they had someone, the Heat if they had someone, the Clippers. I mean, you're talking about 5 really good teams with at least 2 Hall of Famers possibly on each roster. I think that could really bolster his
For
legacy.
sure.
I here's the thing is I think it's so close. I think that it's so close 1 and 2 where you could flip them either way. I do agree with you. I think Kareem's third, and I would probably put Magic fourth. That's probably what I would
For
say.
sure. I'd put Magic forward too.
But the gap
Yep.
between LeBron and Jordan is there's nobody even in the same stratosphere as those two guys from what they've done on the court in their
Nope.
careers. It's unbelievable.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. I mean, like yeah, like you're saying, a lot of it is it's not close. I don't think three's close. I don't think Kareem's really like he's and then he has those championships. Um, I mean, in the day, time to like the advancement with players and everything, faults and everything. But I think, like you said, LeBron might be the best overall player to play that in the NBA. Like that's very, if not, he's top two. Like I said, he's up there. But I mean, when you put together Jordan's offensive game, yes, he didn't rebound or pass as well. But when you put together his offensive game and then him being, if not the best defender in the NBA, one of the best, it's or being one of the best ever. It's hard to dismiss that along with five MVPs and 6 championship rings. It's I don't know. I just think, and I also thought that yes, now the players are better because I mean, yes, they're better now, but I also say that because of evolution. That's just how what life is. Basketball is going to be better 20 years from now than it is today. That's just how it is. So yeah, you like LeBron does that too, but obviously, like that's why it can help LeBron's argument if you really wanted to. But yeah, I understand that. But like I said, I just think that like where he left to go to Miami and then on his reigns there. And then he did the same with Cleveland. He kind of did it with Lakers, but not as much because he only has one other player. But I'm saying is like that's hard for me to give a guy the best ever when he did that. Where yes, Jordan had Pippen and he had great role players and stuff, but he never kind of like he never left into it. You know what I mean? Yes, I know there were times where he was saying that where he was going to request a trade, or he wanted out because he wanted better players. But to me, it's just always tough because in a sense, LeBron, in a way, like people said about KD, he took the easy way out. I see it that LeBron easy way out too. So that's just hard for me to necessarily give him the nod over that too.
Right. And I mean that's a fair knock. It is. It's a fair one. I think what really gets people on this, Owen, is the Mav series. I really do. I I still remember it to this day. I watched all 6 games, and I remember watching 3, 4, 5, and 6, and just being like, this isn't LeBron. Like I don't know if it was the pressure just got to him, but he just wasn't that same guy. And I think, if you really wanted to, you can make that argument that Jordan was better because LeBron didn't melt down. I mean, Jordan did melt down and LeBron did. But at the same time, if you go from the Mavs series in 2011 and you take 2012 all the way till now, I mean, that may be one of the greatest stretches of basketball we've ever seen. I mean, really.
For sure.
Eh, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, or go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, you talk about 2012, 2013, 2016, 2020. Those were his 4 titles, and it's like he's the same guy from then to now, and he's in year 17, and he's going into year 18. I think me and you both agree on this that he's the best player in the world going into this season.
Okay, so now we got to talk about that a little bit. So here's my thing:
Okay.
as if LeBron being the best player in the world, is that he has a luxury that Giannis doesn't have. He has a top 7 player in the NBA on his roster to help him, like in essence, booster his stats. And here's the thing about it is that you look at this right now, is that Giannis, yes, he can't really shoot. There's no denying that. But he's still a top 10 offensive player in the NBA because he can score 30 points a game and no one can stop him in the lane. Would you agree with that? All right. Yeah. And then here's
Yeah,
the other thing. He's the top 3 defender, if not the best defender in the NBA right now.
that's fair.
Top three, because he was in back-to-back years. He was finished second last year, finished first this year. Top
That's
3.
fair.
So what
That's
I'm
fair.
saying is, you have a top 10 offensive player, top 3 defensive player, and then he could be higher in both. Like I'm saying, he could be 1 defense, he could be maybe 7 offense, something like that. And my thing is, we look at LeBron too, where LeBron's a top 5 offensive player right now. I won't give him top 3 because there's guys that can just listen. Because there's guys that can score better than him. Like, listen, and I'm taking guys that were injured this past season, like KD and Steph. I'm bringing them back into the equation. KD and Steph are better offensive players than LeBron. I hope you understand that. And like another guy too, who's a better offensive player, is, in my opinion, is Luka. I think Luka is one of the best offensive players. Hi, I know you're disagreeing, but my point is like LeBron's, and you look at it too. You look at the PER, player efficiency rating. Giannis had the highest, I think, ever in NBA history over Kareem, and that obviously takes everything you do in basketball. And like, it's legendary season. He can play defense, this and that. So I'm saying is, like, throughout the whole year, Giannis was playing the best basketball. 2 years in a row, he was playing the best basketball. So he's back to like MVPs. Where LeBron was playing the second best basketball in the NBA, but he then played better basketball in the playoffs. Yeah, LeBron did, but also remember, he had more opportunities to do it because he was playing in more series. So obviously, you remember that too. Where you have to, yes, Giannis struggled in the Miami series, like we talked about before. He was hurt too for 2.5 games.
Fair.
So I'm saying
That's
his
fair.
time. So a lot of it is recency bias too, which is why I think Giannis and LeBron are the 2 top players going into this upcoming season. But I mean, I don't know. Like I told you too, if Giannis and AD were on a team this year, they win an NBA Finals. Also, remember that. So I mean, it's pick and choose with those 2 right now, in my opinion. But I take Giannis.
Okay. Okay. See, you had me. You had me that Giannis was up there with LeBron until you brought up Luka as a better offensive player than
I didn't
LeBron.
say I didn't say I say he's right up there because Steph Curry and KD, those 2. I got to think of more guys. Those 2 are for sure better offensive players than LeBron.
Yeah.
They are.
Uh-huh. I would
Those
agree
are,
with
but
that.
they're better. And I would say I would probably put Damian Lillard too because of how well he can score. Like I'm not taking into account assist or anything. I'm not talking about like I mean you look at
So
Damian Lillard
so
can score with the
offensively, you're
best.
not counting in assists here.
Like I'm not taking that as much as like obviously you have to account that, but I'm not taking like it as a huge thing. Because you look at stats, I mean, what are you gonna say? Because you look at stats, if you're going to go off stats and stuff too, Anthony Davis was a better offensive player than LeBron this season. Statistically, he was better free throw percentage, better field goal percentage, more points per game, higher clip. I think they might have shot about equal 3-point percentage, higher
More
free throw.
rebounds.
No, I thought did
No,
Anthony Davis average double
LeBron
digit in rebounds this year?
LeBron only led the Lakers and the league
In
in
assists,
assists this
obviously
year.
led the league. Oh wow. Yeah, so you know what you get what I'm saying. And then Giannis too, what I forgot, he averaged 14 rebounds a game this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, I get it,
Or
but
just
dude,
third
okay,
29
so
and 14. No, so I'm not I know. I'm bringing it back. So I'm saying like if you're going off of stats, LeBron wasn't even the best on his team offensively. So that's why I put LeBron in five. I mean top five, because maybe he is three. I could have said top three, but then again too, like maybe he's four. I mean it depends
so
how you see it. So
so
like I
is
said,
he?
maybe
Go
top
ahead,
three.
go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No, I was just saying, maybe top. Maybe I should have said top three. Maybe I should have instead of top five, but I just said top five to stay safe for offensively. Because maybe Giannis is seven. That's why I said 10. I'm just saying, just
Right.
giving a number, a range
Okay.
of what
Yeah.
they could be. All right,
So
what was your
so
question?
LeBron's two for you then in the league right now, or is
In
he
the
one,
league,
or is
obviously, if you're going
or is
right
him and
now
Giannis
from a,
1-1?
if you go, I think 1A, 1B,
Okay. So
1A,
Giannis is
1B.
1A, LeBron's 1B.
Switch them around. Yeah, 1A,
Okay. So
1B. Yeah,
you think LeBron and Giannis are this close, but LeBron's a little bit better because of his postseason.
you could say that. Where I think if you go off of player at the moment, I just think that I understand LeBron's impact in a game. Like you watch, like I think you have to realize how bad yes, they won one game against the Heat without Giannis, but like they just missed so much. They missed 30 points per game scoring. They missed 14 rebounds a game. They missed perimeter defense,
Right.
inside the paint defense. They missed
Yep.
6 assists a game. They missed just so much. Where LeBron, if you don't have him, you miss 25 points a game. You miss 10 assists. You miss 7 rebounds, which is huge. But you're not missing so much on the defensive end, if you know what I'm saying too. Because
So here's
LeBron's a great defender. He's a great defender, but he doesn't try. Like that's
oh
the thing is he
you
really
see
doesn't
what
try to
he
defend anymore.
first game of the bubble. You see what he did to Kawhi and Paul George on the same
Absolutely,
possession.
I understand that, but that's only what that was only what 15 seconds of the game. Where I'm saying you got a guy like Giannis where he plays the whole game like that.
Go go.
But I just think it's tough. I think it's tough to give a guy that's still the best in the world if a guy wins back-to-back MVPs. That's just my opinion too.
Dude, I'll tell you this on. Giannis wins the title. He's the best player in the league. Until he wins the title, he's the
That's
best player
fair.
in the league. Or
That's
makes
fair.
the finals. Or
Okay.
makes the finals. Okay. So let's say, for example, next year LeBron averages, I think he'll probably average 25, 10, and 8.
Probably
That's
around
probably what
25.
he'll average. That's what I think.
Probably.
If Giannis averages 32, 11, and 7,
He's always going to be up. He'll be up around 13 rebounds a game. So about
okay,
like, yeah,
so
somewhere
30,
around that
32, 13,
30,
and 7
30,
assists.
30, 30. Fair enough. Yeah.
So I think that it's close. For me, top five in the league right now: LeBron, Giannis, Steph, AD.
I'd put KD three because I think KD. I thought KD was the best player in the world when he was healthy. Even last year, I thought he was the best player in the world
Okay. Yeah, see,
because I just thought that I mean, he's anywhere else, he scores 34 a game. If he's not in, if that's why I think in Brooklyn he's gonna average like 32 a game this year if he's healthy.
I
We'll
don't,
see though. I thought
yeah, I don't know,
KD's
man.
my favorite player ever, to be honest.
KD's your favorite player ever?
Uh, I'd say top two, probably Steve Nash number one all time, and then KD
Okay.
right now. He's my favorite player in the NBA right now.
Okay. Yeah, I got Brown and D Wade. D Wade's my second favorite ever.
It's a good pick. I like D Wade.
See, I just think LeBron and I don't know if you watch sports talk shows, but Frank Vogel was on the herd with Colin Cowherd today, talking about how LeBron would always get the guys engaged for film sessions and drills. I think that leadership plays a part in this as well, and I think that really stands out to me with LeBron, especially this year because usually, oh, and me and you both know this because we watch a lot of basketball. LeBron's usually the system, and he bought into Vogel's system this year. Like it was clear and obvious to start the season. I think they went 17-2 to start the year, if I'm
Yeah,
not
very
mistaken.
good start.
So I just I don't I don't I'm not saying your Giannis pick is bad at all because yeah he's a back-to-back MVP. He played out of his mind last year. I agree with you. I think they probably make the finals if Giannis is healthy. I think they lose to either LA team they play because I think they need another piece.
That could be true. Yeah, I think if they get to the finals against the Lakers, I think they lose in 6 or 7 because think I think Giannis outplays Anthony Davis because he's better than him in my opinion. Yeah, I think he outplays him, but they have no answer for LeBron, and it's not like the Bucks have good guard play.
Right.
Because if you have good guard play, you could beat the Lakers if you have good guard play. But obviously, you have to have better pieces to help around, which is why Denver didn't win because they had good guard play, but they really had no answer for LeBron or AD. Where I thought maybe a team like the Rockets gave them a little bit of trouble the first couple games because they had good guard play. You know what I mean? They gave them a little bit of trouble the first few games. Obviously, they lost in 5, but they didn't have any bigs. Like they were
Right.
what 6,
Yeah.
7. Robert Covington was their center.
Yeah, LeBron
So I'm
LeBron just
saying,
drove on them
yeah.
all
So
day and saw a super highway to the rim. All right, man. Let's shift to this real quick. Last topic of the night.
let's get it,
How impressed are you with Aaron Rodgers this year?
man. Dude, he looks good. Like really last year. Obviously, you go back and even watch a few games. There were 7-yard slants and like stuff like that where he wasn't making the pass. He was hitting, throwing behind, throwing in front, throwing at the feet. Where this year, everything on the money. He's throwing darts. He's making the deep. Every time he throws a deep ball, I'm like, that's money. Like that's good. That's a touchdown. That's 50 yards, which it's pretty much been this year. Seriously, every time he leaves his hands.
Right.
But honestly, I at this win MVP. I mean, Russell Wilson's dominating right now too, but I think at this pace, because he's on what is he on target? Or he's on pace for like 50 touchdowns, 0 interceptions,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
he's on
5,000
pace to
yards.
have
So I
probably
mean,
one of his greatest seasons ever.
it probably will be if he keeps it up.
Right.
And with no receiving core too. I mean, Devontae's out, and even though Lazard's playing real well, if any, he's not a trusty number 2 receiver. He's like a guy where if you play him, he could be a great 3 receiver. When I always think of I was saying this too. Who was I? I was trying to think of someone the other day. I can't exactly remember. Oh, like that's what it is. Like the Seahawks, for example, DK Metcalf's he's a number 1 receiver. Tyler Lockett is a perfect number 2 receiver. He's a perfect guy to have as a number 2 receiver. And I was thinking that too is because obviously I don't know if you remember the Packers were thinking of signing Allen Robinson a few years ago in the offseason, where I was thinking like Allen Robinson would be a perfect number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking to Devontae. So I'm saying like if they were to get receivers too, Obviously, Funchess opted out this season and everything too, which stunk because he could have been an okay number two.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm saying like, I mean, with what he's doing right now, where his weapons, they're good. They're good football players. Like they're not the best. They're not really that bad or anything, but it's because Aaron Rodgers is throwing to him. Like he's the reason why a lot of them are that good.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, Wilson has been unbelievable. I mean, but if you if you've turned on tape to watch the Green Bay Packers this year, Aaron Rodgers is looking like that bad man that he's always been, man. He's he
For
looks
sure.
real comfortable in the Fleur system, especially with Aaron Jones, Jamal, Devontae. Yeah, I mean Robert Tanya.
Yeah, no, I know about they were talking about when he was talking to SVP last week against the Falcons. He says that he works out with Kittle and everything in the offseason, so they're good buds. So yeah, I mean, you're right though. He can catch, he can move. He's gonna be good. He'll be around for a while just because of this season. But like you said, dude. I mean, you watch the games too. LaFleur's system is really good right now. That offense, like it takes about a second and a half for Aaron to get the ball out of his hands. The offensive line's playing really well too. So I mean, they look good right now.
Now, let me ask you this, Owen. You have the Packers making the Super Bowl this year?
For right now, yeah, I think
Who
I
do they
think it's
play? Who do
Packers
they play?
versus
Let me follow
Chiefs.
that up with who do they play?
They'll play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Are you talking about who they play in the Super Bowl?
yeah,
Um, I said the Chiefs. I just think Chiefs are too good. The only other team that I think could really give them fits. I mean, the Patriots are still good too. They have good defense. They gave them fits when they played them 2 weeks ago. I like the Patriots, but I don't think Cam. I don't think he can throw well enough anymore to make that happen. But I think the one team that I do like Ravens too. They're good. I think the Ravens are. I think the Ravens are a solid team, but
right.
I think it's Chiefs and Titans in the AFC Championship. I think the Titans are really tough. They're good, and then I think that it's Seahawks versus Packers in the NFC Championship, and then Packers versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have
I like the
Seahawks.
Titans though.
I like the Titans. I really like the way they look. I do. I got Packers Seahawks NFC championship game. Um, AFC. I got Kansas City and New England. I'm telling you, I don't know what has happened, but Bill Belichick and Cam Newton is like a match made in heaven, man. Literally, these two are connecting on such a great level. I never thought I'd see it because of Cam and Belichick's personality, but I agree with you. It's going to be the State Farm Super Bowl. Rodgers, Mahomes, it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome, dude.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying about the Patriots, I think it's that. I mean, they're saying too for a while. Belichick was waiting to open the playbook, and he couldn't do it with Brady because he couldn't move. I mean, Brady's always going to be one of the best ever, if not the best. So
Yeah.
obviously Newton, he has more to do. But I don't know, man. Even like watching the other night and everything, I think the Titans are just good, dude. They're tough on defense. They're tough on offense. Derrick Henry's one of the best, if not the best, back in the game right now. I mean, Tannehill's playing good. He can throw. He can run. They're just solid. I mean, you saw that last year when they made it to the AFC Championship. They
Right.
just weren't good enough to beat Kansas City. But I think it's the same matchup again this year. I think Tennessee gets back to
I
the
love
AFC
Tennessee,
Championship.
but here's why I think New England will win is because Belichick situationally is so good. So I think it'll be a low scoring, a lot of running, but I think Belichick situationally will. And don't get me wrong, I could see Tennessee win because they got Mike Vrabel, one of my favorites. You see my Ohio State hat on here. Mike Vrabel,
Honestly, and
obviously, big Ohio State guy.
yeah, I mean, Vrabel, like he's a yeah. I mean, obviously, like you said last year, that was one of the things though where the game was close. It was one of those games, but Vrabel honestly outcoached Belichick. I mean, obviously they have a good connection and everything, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that the Tennessee, I honestly think they're a tougher New England. Like as of right now, I think they're a tougher New England because they have more that they can throw out there with Henry, with AJ Brown, with I mean Tannehill. He's not the best quarterback, but he did what he needed to do last year to win, and I think he's been doing it this year too.
Yeah, Tannehill's been great this year. I think you could even throw him in the top 5 quarterback case this year. I really do.
For sure, the way he's played this year, you could so far, you could throw him up there. Like the
Yeah.
other night, he had a great night.
Yeah, I mean they smoked Buffalo, dude. Smoked
And
Buffalo.
I like Buffalo too. I think they're good. I just think their defense, man, ugh, they looked bad the other night.
Dude,
I think
Derrick
Allen,
Henry
I think
ended
he'll be.
Josh Norman, man.
That was bad. I didn't even see that live. Actually, I just saw like a tweet from ESPN about that, and that was bad, man. He threw him like a rag doll. It was crazy.
Yeah. All right, Owen. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun talking sports with you. I will say, Owen, I would love to make you a weekly guest on the show, or even every other week. You just let me know every week, and we'll pencil you in for a time.
Absolutely, Dunk. Man, it's good talking to you. I like talking sports, and it's always fun to talk to you about Jordan, LeBron, because you always got to say something about LeBron. But no, it was good, man. Thanks for letting me get on the show for the first time out here, and I liked the episode. It was good stuff, man.
All right, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. You have yourself a good night.
Yes, sir, man. You too.
All right, peace out, buddy.
All right, bro.